What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to We Hail to the Commanders. My name is JD, and I haven't posted in a very long time, so if you're someone who enjoys my content, I do apologize about that. Got caught up with life, having kids, work, a lot of things like that, even another YouTube channel. That's a gaming channel. But I did want to comment on something that I heard today. I was listening to a podcast, not really a podcast, but a YouTube video. I guess it's like a podcast, and it's about the NFC East Roundtables, what it's called. I think that's what the YouTube channel is, and there's a bunch of people on there. I only know one, that's Real Robinson. I watch this shit all the time, so it caught my interest because he was on there. And they're talking about who the best quarterback is in the NFC East. And to me, this isn't even a freaking contest, but I heard all the stupid remarks, I heard some smart ones, and I kind of want to give my take on this. So the Eagles guy obviously said Jalen Hurts, then he gave Jaden Daniels credit, and then he said Dak, and then whoever starts for the Giants. Everyone disagrees the Giants have the worst. Even the Giants fan says the Giants have the worst. So that's kind of a consensus. The Dallas fan thought Dak Prescott was number one, and then Jalen Hurts, and then Jaden Daniels, and then whoever the Giants have. And then the Eagles fan said Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. She gave a lot of credit to Jaden Daniels. I think if she was truly unbiased, she probably would have said Jaden Daniels. I got the best argument that ends this whole thing. Okay, I got the best argument answer. Yes, has Jaden Daniels only been in the league for 1 year? Yeah, it's only been 1 year, I get it. But the impact that you've had in 1 year is greater than anyone else's impact they've had in any of their years. Okay, and a lot of it fell on his shoulders. It wasn't like Jaden Daniels came in and went to a good team that had a great offensive line, a great run game, decent coaching, etc. It wasn't like that. Okay, so that's the big difference between Dak Prescott and the big difference between Giants. Well, that's a little bit of a different scenario. They don't even have anything right now. But Jalen Hurts came into a solid team. He did not come into a team. He took the 20th best roster, 20th worst, whatever you want to call it, ranked 20th roster, let's word it that way, to the NFC Championship game. Okay, he took the 20th roster. That means there were 19 teams better, and he took them to be top 4. That's how much he pushed. He took a Civic and pushed it all the way to like a McLaurin, okay? No pun intended with Terry. But he pushed it like a 10-second car. That's what he did. That's the impact he had. That's a Jaden Daniels effect. And here's the other thing. If you took Jaden Daniels and put him and swapped him with any quarterback on any other team, does that team not get significantly better, and does Washington get significantly worse? Look at the Giants. That's not even a question. Jaden Daniels on the Giants, they're probably at least a wild card team easily. Right now, they're going to be lucky to do anything. They're legitimately going to be lucky to do anything. This needs to go down and over here. The sun's baking it on me. Okay? That's a no-brainer. And when you put Russell Wilson on our team, or Jackson Dart, or whatever his name is, not even a contest. It's not even a contest. So let's get that one out of the way. You swap him with Dak. We get significantly worse because Dak cannot carry a team by himself. He has to have those around him being good. He has to have a solid run game to play action off of. He can't sit back and shotgun and pick a team apart. That's not what he does. And like Rio said, it took him 5 years almost to get 25 touchdowns in a season. Okay, and the only reason he won Rookie of the Year is because that year there weren't that many good rookies. And like I said, he got put on a very good team. Tony Romo was a quarterback of a team the year before that was like, what, 12-5, 12-4. I think it was back before they had 17 games. So that was a very good team the year before. And the only reason he started wasn't because he was the better quarterback. It's because Tony Romo broke his back. He hurt his back in preseason. That's the only reason Dak Prescott started. I said when it happened, I used to have a channel just under my name, JD, and I said the worst case scenario for Washington is Tony Romo getting hurt, because I think Dak would do better with that team. Not because he was good, because he's mobile, he can run, he gives the offense way more dynamic. There's a lot of things that happen with that. But Dak Prescott, you swap him, Jaden Daniels goes to a team where he's throwing to Pickens, and he's throwing to CeeDee Lamb, and they have a good commitment to the run game. Their offensive line is solid, and it's a significantly better team whenever you swap Jaden Daniels and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, he goes to this team, and he's going to learn really quick what happens when you don't have a solid team around you, at least a solid offense around you. The defense is, leaves a lot to be desired, but with Dallas. But the offensive line's always been good. He has decent tight ends. They do draft talent well in Dallas. Okay, and when you swap with Washington, if you don't have Terry, you definitely don't have anything. But I mean, you have Debo, I guess, but you don't have quite the amount of talent that you have when it comes to that. Plus, all the other players around Jaden Daniels get worse because you're not playing with the skill set that Jaden Daniels has. There's not always that run, that threat of pull it and run. There's always that threat if we can't blitz him, because if we don't get him, he's going to run for like 30 yards because he's that good of a scrambler and a runner. You don't have that threat. So Dak Prescott really makes our offense not one-dimensional, but not exactly multifaceted. You really limit some players when you're not playing with Jaden Daniels. So let's look at Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has always played for one of the best teams in the NFL. He's got probably the best offensive line, one of the best, top 5 easily, top 3. Let's say top 3. He's always played with the top 3 offensive line. He's always had a top tier running game, and now with Saquon Barkley is still one of the top 5 running back in the league, and he has that next to him, and he has a good backup, and he has 2 really good weapons with Smith and Brown. And then you look at his tight end, Dallas Goedert's not bad. Like, it's just loaded with talent all across the board. And then you back that up by having one of the best defenses in the league. If you get a lead, you run the ball, and you just have such a strategy that they can execute, and plus the tush push. Swap that to the Washington Commanders, and he does not have that effect. More gets put on his shoulders, and he just can't thrive in that environment. He can do that for a game here and there, just like Dak Prescott can do that for a game here and there. Jaden just did it for a whole freaking season as a rookie. You can't sit there and tell me we had a dynamic running game. I like Brian Robinson, but there's a reason why Washington's looking to get rid of him. I've said this for years, and I wish I'd said it on here so I could reference a video, but I've said that he has horrible vision. There's times I watch that man run. He'll run up his lineman's back when there's an outcut. We watched the last preseason game, and you had Bill Krosky-Merritt run for like a 30-yard touchdown because there's a gaping hole where Brian Robinson runs up his lineman's back for like a 5 or 6 yard gain or something like that, where Bill Krosky-Merritt has the vision to bounce it outside and book it to the end zone. That's the drastic difference that we're having right now. It's the reason why Brian Robinson is being shocked. Is he a good for between tackles guy? Probably. But he can't run a stretch because he has no vision. He doesn't have that breakaway speed. He doesn't have the agility. There's just a lot of things about him that aren't great. He's definitely he's in the NFL. I mean, he's going to play for a while. But he's not. It's different. There are levels to this. You got Saquon Barkley kind of skill set coming out of Krosky-Merritt. So like last year, we didn't have that. We had Austin Eckler, who prefers to be in the passing game more than the running game anyway. We had Brian Robinson and Rodriguez. That's pretty much it. That's all you had running game wise. You didn't have a dynamic diversity of the run game. Okay, so if you swap Jalen Hurts to that, a lot of it puts on Jalen Hurts, and you're just not going to be as good. Whereas you put Jaden Daniels behind the best offensive line, you put it next to the best running back in the league, one of the best, top 5 running back. You put him on the field where no one can be double covered because you have so much of a threat from the run game, not just from the running back, but from yourself. And you got the best offensive line in front of you. He got sacked a lot last year. I don't know if people understand that. He got sacked a lot, and if it wasn't for his ability to scramble, he had to lead our team in running. That's what you got to understand. He led our team in rushing and passing and had the greatest rookie season ever. And you have that on the 20th ranked roster, the greatest rookie season ever. If he's on the 3rd best roster, or I think Eagles probably would, you can make an argument. I'm not trying to give Eagles a lot of clout on this, but you can make an argument. They have top to bottom, probably a top 3 offense. Let's just say, or team. Overall, they have a top 3 team. Let's say that. Okay, I think we're jumping in the top 10 with the adjustments we made in the offseason. But when it comes to top rosters, what could Jaden Daniels have done last year if he was on a top 3 overall roster? And then he's the quarterback taking over. You got to look at it this way, financially. If he's the quarterback, you have so much more money you can invest in other things. Whatever holes that the Eagles had, they could have filled those holes a whole lot better if they had Jaden Daniels at quarterback rather than Jalen Hurts. The money difference is drastic. And what you can do with the extra amount of money, that's a different topic. But ultimately, if you swap Jaden Daniels with any other team in the league, not in the league, so I'd say if any other team in the NFC East, let's keep that discussion. Maybe that's a different topic for another day. But you swap him with anyone else in the NFC East, that team gets significantly better, and Washington gets significantly worse. That's how much of an impact that man has. And to sit there and say that he doesn't have that impact, you either don't know football or you're just lying. You're just flat out lying, and you just can't give the guy his props. Okay? I would say the ranking, if I were to rank the quarterbacks, I think it's a no-brainer. Jaden's number 1. Jalen Hurts is number 2. He has done it longer, but he doesn't throw a lot of touchdowns. So the quarterbacking part, he doesn't do well. He just doesn't screw up a lot. That's what Jalen Hurts is good at. He doesn't screw up a lot. Dak Prescott is about the same. He doesn't screw up a lot. The difference is if you swap Jalen Hurts and Dak, I think Dak does better because he's on a better team. He's on the best offensive line. He's got a great running back, good receivers. So Dak Prescott kind of has something similar to that this year. The real difference here is I don't think Dak Prescott has had the greatest offensive coordinator that's really, gotten the most out of him, if I'm being honest. He's always had Kellen Moore, and he's always had what's that stupid coach? McCarthy. So he's always had someone I would say is subpar offensive coordinator. So that might be his biggest hindrance. And so maybe we've never seen the best version of Dak Prescott, or maybe we have, and there's a reason why they call the plays they have. I don't know. They see practices more than we do. But in the third quarterback, obviously in the division, is Russell Wilson / Jackson Dart / Jameis Winston. I think that's no brainer. If you swap any other quarterbacks, do they get better? Whoever's on the Giants, whoever they swap with, the Giants get immediately better by swapping with any of the other 3 teams in the NFC East. And if you swap with Dak, I think Dak and Hurts are just about the same player. It's just if they're swapped, their whole careers were swapped, and one played in Dallas and one played in for the Eagles, you're gonna have it's just completely different MO, I guess is the best way to put it. Completely different outcome, I think. But I think Jaden Daniels by far, whatever team he's on, makes them significantly better than they are right now. So that's my video. Thank you for watching. This is We Hail. My name is JD. Have a good one, and maybe I'll have more content for you this year. I got a lot of stuff happen last year, so I do apologize if you're a big fan of my content. You gotta let me know. So if you like these videos, leave a like, leave a comment. It helps out the algorithm. I am actually kind of close. I'm like within striking distance of 1,000 subscribers, so you never know. But let me know what you think. Have a good one. I'll see you guys next time.